Hello travelers, this is going to be an elemental air reading for the air signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for March 2019. This is a general reading. To gain any insight into your situation does require a personal reading. You can click on the eye that shows up over there in the right hand corner. That'll take you directly over to the website. There on the main menu, you'll see tarot readings. Click the pull down arrow and all of the readings will pop up for you. I was doing some meditation on your signs on the air element glyph, and the tower presented itself upside down. Now, typically when the tower presents itself right side up, it just speaks to something that was unexpected, something quite shocking, something that creates a bit of chaos. Sometimes this can be an accident. Sometimes it could be the loss of funds. It could be a sudden breakup of a relationship. It could be the sudden passing of someone, getting fired from your job. All of these things, it happened unexpectedly. That's really what the tower represents right side up. Because it presented itself upside down, this tells me that whatever this unexpected thing was, it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. It may have been shocking. It may have shaken you to the core. It may have changed your view about something or your belief systems about something, but it's not as bad as you think it is. See, in effect, as they, instead of them falling on their heads, they end up landing on their feet. You know? So, let's lay the rest of the cards. This is going to be, a mini cross. We have the Four of Pentacles. That's our foundation. So what is at the heart of the issue right now is this Tower card. For some of you, this could be the idea of Mercury, of Uranus leaving Aries and moving into Taurus. He came out of retrograde phase. This might have been an argument, but it wasn't, you know, after all was said and done, you realize that maybe this is something you needed to get off your chest, or maybe somebody else needed to get it off their chest. So this is our foundation. Here is the past. So we're either dealing with a male fire sign, which would be Leo, Aries, Leo, and or Sagittarius. But this person could also be a boss. Okay. Over the top, wow, we have the Knight of Cups. So there are two people here, at the least. We see two people falling down. And what's coming up on the front side, possibly the Seven of Cups. Wow. I don't know if somebody has two things. This is definitely some kind of message or news that came through. Some kind of offer. Now, as a person, the Knight of Cups will typically be a younger individual under the age, well, up to 40, okay? But is fickle. They vacillate back and forth. This could be somebody who's in love with love but won't ever make that commitment to you. See, he hasn't crossed the water yet. But this also is some kind of event. And I think we see it. That news comes in and triggers this event. I don't know if somebody was supposed to be coming to visit you or traveling to where you were. Maybe it was for business. Maybe it was for pleasure. But that has changed. And I think it was something unexpected. And I don't think you've heard from the individual just yet. Or whatever information you're getting from them is a bunch, it's a jumble. Well, look, there's two knights. There's a fight. Now, two knights always speak to the idea of doubting the sincerity of a new male friend or close friend. There's something about that tower. As if something exploded, something blew up, or it's headed that way. Right. Whatever this message or this news is, it creates this like seismic event, but it also says, as I said, that it's not as bad as you think it is. That's what keeps coming across. Now, I don't have, there are 3 people here, 2 in the reading itself and 1 over. Typically, the Knight of Pentacles, he is the slowest knight in the deck, but you know what? This guy is dependable. This one is not. And typically what will happen is that whatever the message is that this knight is bringing, it is something that has taken a long time to get there, but it always typically presages some kind of good news, even if it creates this upheaval right here and a whole bunch of confusion. Okay? It tells me that eventually you can pick up, quote unquote, and move on. It may be slow going. This could be some kind of financial news or message. I've seen this show up when there's been like a car accident, or an accident where like somebody fell and maybe they broke their leg or something like that, but they turn out to be okay. This could be some kind of financial loss, but it's not as bad as you think it is. He's turned his back on this. I don't know why. Let me give you the meaning of the reverse tower. I think that's going to be very important for you. The keywords are distress, procrastination, self-injury, self-sabotage, separations, unwelcome changes, unexpected events, adversity, deception, ruin, oppression, imprisonment, tyranny, and ongoing depression. The Tower reverse signifies some misfortune or unpleasant event which could have been avoided or which has been allowed to develop over a period of time. In a sense, the resulting injury is self-inflicted. It may be inferring that you feel dominated by someone or something and feel powerless to fight back. You should concentrate on the future and on ways to redress the balance of power. It indicates that things are changing for a good reason. Try not to resist the inevitable destruction of present circumstances as they are necessary. It indicates that you are to expect change for the worse, maybe even unforeseen catastrophe. It signifies that plans may be brought to an abrupt halt. It may be warning of sudden unemployment, loss of security and position. It is warning that you can be and possibly are your own worst enemies, so do not be so self-destructive. It indicates chaos to do with financial issues or emotional upheaval or possibly both. It tells of the wrong use or abuse of personal will and power. It can refer to false imprisonment, false accusations, oppression, and or being trapped in an unhappy situation or relationship. The Tower reverse asks that you be courageous and face the difficulties and obstacles ahead and deal with them. It asks you to look at things as they really are. Face the facts. Don't be put off by false ideas and ignore any opposition. It may be indicating that you are reaching a boiling point where you can no longer live within the confines that surround you. It may be warning that you or someone around you is displaying a false persona. Remain aware. Is that confusion? So, let me take a look at the Four of Pentacles next to this Tower card. It foretells of upheavals and the possibility of great loss. Do not allow others to influence or manipulate you in any way. Tend to your own affairs. Now, there are 3 court cards here. When it appears next to the Tower and 3 court cards, it indicates the possibility of great loss. It is a message to remain careful and cautious in all that you do. It indicates to depend upon yourself rather than relying on others' influences, opinions, and input. So if this is somebody that has sent you a message, somebody from your past who has sent, maybe it's I need help, or here, I've got a business deal for you. Be cautious. It is asking you not to, when it appears with 3 court cards, the Tower is asking you not to take on board other people's opinions and views. Listen to your own intuition and do not be influenced by others. That's a very good message. 7 of Cups. Because you can see whatever this message is, it goes, that cup coming makes an 8 of Cups. So I honestly feel that you should, whatever this thing is that may have cropped up out of the blue, it might be better that you step away from it. Don't become involved in it. Tend to your own affairs. Don't give out a bunch of information about what you're doing or what you're not doing or what your plans are, and you will be able, I think, to weather this particular storm. I think you're going to have to walk away from this. The question becomes, what is the most important thing? Because it looks like when this occurs, you've got, somebody comes in with an offer or something happens. There's a whole bunch of confusion around this. But if you can just focus on what is most important to you, that's what's under the sheet, you get this Knight of Pentacles here. So let me look at this 7 of Cups. This could be something averted. Nothing. This could be something that is averted, like you just, kind of got that feeling and you know it, or it's already completely collapsed, whatever this thing is, in which case, don't lament it, just go with it. Stay focused on what's most important to you. There's something about this upside down tower that this crown is trying to tell me. Right side up. It's like your mind being blown. It's like, wow, I can't believe that happened. But here, it's like, yeah, you are surprised, but you don't lose your cool. You don't lose your head. If that's what, that didn't quite come out right. Whatever this thing is, it's like it comes from the bottom up. There's the Sun. There's the Fox. And there's the Lily. Now, the Sun always implies, you know what? I think somebody lost their job. Somebody who was in a high position, had seniority. The Sun always represents success and positivity, growth and abundance, and it's one of the most positive cards no matter what deck of cards you're using. The Fox is a funny card because the Fox speaks to your 9-to-5 job. This could be the collapse of some company or breakup of some company that you've been working for. That structure just collapsed. Okay? Maybe they went bankrupt or filed for bankruptcy. But the Fox, so it represents what you do for your 9-to-5 job. Okay? But this is also the card of con artists, criminals, deceitful people. They will typically have red hair or be red complected, like this Fire King. And so sometimes it could speak to deception. Okay. Here with the Lily, this tells me that this was a really successful position. An older worker, someone who perhaps had seniority. Maybe they were trying to retire, and then suddenly something was snatched away from them. Quite utterly. I feel that maybe this was always a possibility, but that, so, and that's why it's shown up, kind of like the person has always known that this might happen, but it did, and not necessarily that they weren't prepared for it, they just weren't prepared for the way that it went down. Okay, I'm going to double check those cards for you. Something, and then we're going to look at this situation with the now that's funny, because the first thing I thought when I saw this, sometimes I've seen this card show up when it's about sex. Okay, just a mind-blowing sexual experience. Sometimes like this, it can speak to sexual issues. Okay? Because the fox and the lily is either talking about an established career, an older employee, but can sometimes be some kind of sexual issue. With the sun, and I'm going to give you all three. The sun and the fox says something based on something unconventional, success based on deception. That's why the cards are telling you to be careful. But it could also speak to job success. And with the lily, it says success comes slowly or success later in life. I think personally that you're dealing with someone who is crafty, because that's the meaning of the, like, they may be like top dog in their job, but personally there's something else happening with this person. Let's pull playing cards on here. Oh, you know what, I looked at all of the cards around there. This to me is not a person. That's the message. That's the news or the event. Two of clubs. There he is again, the King of Wands, and the 9. Isn't that something? Two of clubs speaks to verbal communications, such as telephone calls. That's one of the meanings. We know that this King of Clubs can be somebody who is over 40, dark haired. Okay. With this 9 of Spades, it says disappointments of all kinds, but not permanent. Two of Clubs says obstacles to success and or malicious gossip. It's either about this king or surrounding this king. Okay? Or he's the one doing it. With the 9 of Spades here, it says accident, illness, and bad luck. The querent is at their personal law. That's really what that says. So whatever this situation is, if you're dealing with this individual, if this is a boss, if this is a lover, if this is somebody who's around you in your, in your work, I would just suggest that you take a step back and don't become involved in this situation. Let me pull cards. I want to pull cards on this 7 because that's what's coming up over the, possibly coming up over the, in the future for some of you. Seven of clubs, 5 of spades, and the ace. That's exactly what I was saying. That's almost like getting that card. The 7 of clubs, and it's a 7 on top of a 7, right? It says business success, although there may be problems with the opposite sex. Okay, with the 5 of spades, again, it says oppositions and obstacles that are temporary, but it really reads like a blessing in disguise. There's that cup with the thing over it. It says it can sometimes indicate a negative or depressed person. Maybe the person has some kind of addiction issue. I don't know. With the ace of clubs, it says wealth, prosperity, and expected money gain. However, in a difficult spread, this money may disappear almost as quickly as it appears. I think something has happened to someone that you know. We're going to pull 2 cards on this. We're going to pull an angel answer card. So formulate an angel answer, question for the angel answer, because it almost reads like there's some kind of romantic, even though there's nothing but clubs and spades here. Some kind of work issue, I think. Now, let's take a look at this romance. I don't know if that's an offer. Yeah, well, chemistry don't necessarily mean that you should. Okay? All right? And that's what I'm going to tell you about that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is completely accurate at this time. Listen to your own inner guidance and you cannot go wrong. You can be certain that the messages you're receiving from your angels are real and trustworthy. Have faith in your feelings about the circumstances you're experiencing, as your insights into other people and their true feelings and motives are perfectly accurate. There is no need to question what you know is true. But this is the underpinning thing. Oh, but we got chemistry. Till you don't. You receive this card because you feel a strong dynamic pull towards another person. In other words, you share chemistry with him or her. This creates intense, pleasurable sensations that draw you to each other. If this person is someone other than your partner in a committed relationship, then the chemistry is probably a source of both stress and escape. You'll need to weigh your options and the consequences carefully before or instead of leaving your current partner or embarking upon an affair. If, however, you are single and feel this pull towards another unattached person, then this card brings you a go-ahead green light of good news. Most likely the chemistry is mutual and it merits exploration. Okay, yeah, do that, but be very careful. However, in some cases, this card may mean that a lack of chemistry is a cause for relationship issues and personal discontent. If there was chemistry initially, it may be restored by Devoting effort to the relationship, passion, sparks, and romance can be revived through playfulness, thoughtfulness, time together, and caring gestures. But also, okay, it may just be that this is not supposed to continue forward. That depends on you. Call upon the romance angels to guide you as you make your important decisions about channeling this chemistry. That's why this card is telling you to listen to what your intuition is telling you. That's what I have for you, air signs, for March 2018. I do hope those messages help. Until next time, namaste.